Hello, hello. I got thumbs up, but no company. Hello, Charlotte. How are ya? I am just sitting here enjoying the last couple of bites of a bowl of pears that I bought over at Walmart. And I am telling you what, they are really good pears. I was hoping to be done with them before anybody got here. I am actually doing better by the minute, as a matter of fact. And the further I get away from a project that I was working on, the more I'm recovering. So, hello, Deb and Charlotte and Michelle and Joycey. Nice to see you. And oh, I am telling you what, they are so good. Wendy, happy birthday yesterday. Happy birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Not everybody gets me to sing. Hi, Donna. And hi, Corolla. And Katie. And I really am here. And Sandy. And Cassandra. And Becky. And Becky, sort of, as a matter of fact. Hi, Melinda. And I did get a good night's sleep. I will say that. And so yummy. I'm eating pears, and they are so good. Hello, Lisette. And yes, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I released 2 books in 2 weeks. And doing the videos and sort of trying to be everywhere at the same time sort of took it out of me. But what I really, wasn't prepared for, hi May, is I decided to make the 40 fan favorites video, a colorist celebration video as well. So normally I do those separately. And basically I take colorings from my Facebook fan group and make a colorist celebration video. Well, it's one thing when you have 24 pictures that you have to make slide here and, roll up there and do all of this. Now, I should preface this by saying that, sorry, slow down, Christine. I should preface this by saying that it was really easy to do in Windows Movie Maker, but I don't have Windows Movie Maker anymore. Hang on one second. Sorry, sometimes that sugar hits the back of my throat and I just have to cough. So I don't have Windows Movie Maker anymore. And it was super easy because you just select all of the images that you wanted to apply a specific effect to, and it would just apply it to those images. Well, the video editing software that I have today is a much higher grade, but that is one of the things that it does not do. It lets me do all sorts of other fancy things, but that is applying the same effect to more than one clip is not one of them. And so each one of those 24 had to be uh, edited separately to slide to the left. And then I also had colorist pictures, and I wanted them to fade in and out and change the names. And all of those are separate layers of things to be done. It's about a gajillion different details. I didn't get it perfect. There are 3 mistakes in it, but it was the best that I could do. And I did, in fact, publish it. And I think it's wonderful. People seem to really be liking it. Hi, Kenny, and hi, Melody. And so, but at any rate, but once I finally published it, it was like the last little bit of energy that I had went from me, and I collapsed just like a little rag doll. So today I am much better. Oh yay! A lovely sunny day. It is gorgeous here. I went out to go to the store real quickly, and it was absolutely fabulous outside. Hello, the bookworm, and hello, Nanimo, and Cindy888, and anybody that I've missed coming in while I was yakking along. I thought that what we would do today is I actually got the Derwent Inktense out, and I know that May just worked with those, but you know, May and I sort of do Derwent Inktense a little differently. But I thought we would revisit some whips today and check out what's going on, and then I could show you a little bit of what beside the book, which by the way, the book is live. Both the 40 fan favorites full size edition and the mandala books are now both available at Amazon worldwide. All the links to both sets of books, all the countries and all of that are down below in the description. So all of that said, let me pull that glare back away and fix my camera angle a little bit. Pull it just a tad forward. Get that nasty part of where the pad ends off my desk. And I thought I'd show you some things I was working on. So last night, and how is everybody today, by the way? Is everybody good? Hi, Connie. And I haven't really had a chance to visit with anybody lately. And hi, Nika and Nepperkit, and whose name actually I know is, I want to say it's Patricia. Is that right? Yes, Nepperkit is Patricia. and and hi, Donna. A gazillion chores. Oh, I've got a bunch more if you'd like a gazillion and two. And oh, a buddy color. Oh, those are always fun. Those are always fun. I've been thinking about doing that. A color along. What do you guys think about that? If I did a free page and we did a color along, and then everybody could post it and all of that. No, you don't want my chores. Rats. Okay, Donna doesn't want my chores. and Nika says yes, yes, yes. Do a color along the bookworm. Okay, all right. In that case, then let me think that up. Also, remember that next week is Guest Artist Week. Once a month on the last Sunday of the month, I always feature a guest artist who I don't believe gets the attention that they deserve. Now, this week, I do have to say that this particular artist gets plenty of attention, but I love her work so much, and I just got her vintage classics too, and so I am going to color in that, and that is what we're going to do next week, and that is Tatiana Bogima Stolova. If you don't have her work, she is the artist behind the Little Town books, but I love her 2 books which are Vintage Classics and Vintage Classics 2. They are her older work. They are stunning. They were before she went all cutesy pie with her art. And I just think that they are incredible. And that is what we're going to color from. And Sandy, I think it might have been you that sort of inspired me to do it. But yes, it is. I could not agree more. Her books are just incredible, and yes, that is why she gets an awful lot of attention. But that's it. Okay, so I colored in gnomes in the last night, mostly because what I'm trying to do is, I think it was last month, one of the channels had I think it might have been Honor, had a color your horde. Was that Honor that did that? And I realized that I had gotten an awful lot of books that I hadn't actually colored in. So last night I did just the title page on this, and this is how I did it. I was watching somebody. It might have been Sammy. Might have been, I don't know who it was. It might have been Becky. I think I did this while I was watching Becky. And of course, you can see that I used this extreme glitter hologram paint, and I watered it way down and used it like Wink of Stella. And I had colored this in with my Inktense. Then I used Neo Colors to just sort of do a little cloudy pink and mint green wash over the back. And then I used this all over the air. And I just love the way that turned out. And of course, I did not realize that this is also a picture actually in the book. So I get to do it again. Yeah, see, there it is. It's actually in the book without all the printing. So anyway, a lot of odd little books that I don't remember the name of. I have a bunch of like these. I love these. I had to have these, but have I colored in them? No. So I want to color in Wade Anderson's Enchanted Forest, and in Fairies, and in the Dragons. Now I also have this in the big poster size book, so there's no reason for me not to color in the little book, and nature. I think in the UK, this one is marketed as hedgerow, but here in America, it's nature. So those are. Let's see. What else did I do? No, I didn't start anything in that. I did, however, start also last night a page in this, and it's just the title page, but here it is so far. And that's all I've done is the key, the little berries, and some flowers. So I'm working on that. Yes, Deb, I did. I used what I did is I took and I squirted out a little bit of it on my plastic matte leftover palette. And then I just used this brush, and I like it because it's got a corner on it, so it can reach into tight spaces. And I just squirted a little bit on there, and then used copious amounts, really, of water, and sort of, it was a big, like, size blob, and I would just pull as much as I needed into it, because that is a super, super glittery thing. This folk art extreme glitter. Now, I did see on somebody's channel, I don't know who it was, but they had deco art I think it was deco art, and it was called I want to say it was Extreme Metallic, uh, but it looked very interesting, and so I want to try that. I want to get some of that, but I don't quite know where. Well, hello, Sammy, and hi, Becky, and anybody that I have missed saying hello to. Uh, and I see Caps, so, and Ballo is watching the next stream. I don't know who Ballo is, and I know I should. Uh, Extreme Sheen, that's it. That's it. Thank you, Sammy. Uh, and yeah, I love anything. I love anything glittery. Um, you know, I think our AC Moore might have left, Wendy. Are they still there? You're in my town, so I can ask you. Wendy and I live in the same town, and we haven't met because I'm a hermit. Baloo. Baloo is Carola's cat. Got it. Okay. So it's Baloo like a bear in the Jungle Book, yeah? And okay, all right, Becky, thank you. And okay, so this, I started working on this, and I'm loving that. And so I thought I might revisit a couple of whips today. I know we worked on this just a couple, or I think stream before last, so I can continue on that one. And yes, it is in land. Okay. Yes, by BJ's. Okay. All right, got it. I know exactly where that is, Wendy. Uh, that's the only one that I ever go to. And then we also have a Jackson's Art here, uh, or not Jackson's, Jerry's Artorama. And apparently we have a Hobby Lobby, which I did not know. And yes, we do actually need to meet one of these days. And uh, so this was my What You Doing Dragon, and this is how far I got with it. And I wanted to glitter him up a little bit, and I wanted to think about the exterior uh, rune design. But I didn't want to do that today because this is all going to be grays and blacks, and that's pretty boring for people to watch. So so I didn't want to do that. Um, or I could color this. What do you think? Any way you look at it, and I could do this with maybe watercolors or with my Inktense, or Nanimo says yes, and uh, and so yeah, I can hardly wait to finish this. But like I said, this part is gonna, and I'm gonna do it with the Grappa tints, so I get the like a real stony feel to it. And okay, so Color Creatively says watercolors, and I kind of agree. That might be why I actually filled my little watercolor jars here with actual fresh water before I started the stream, just in case you guys picked watercolors. Yay. Okay. In that case, then let's do this. I always clip anything I'm going to use water on to one of my books with these little binder clip things. And what I love about them is they hold the page securely, but they also flip out of the way when you need them to. This is like the handiest. I get some of these every time I go to the dollar store. Every single time. And I lose them about as quickly because I use them for everything. All my books are put together with little binder clips in their little cases. I have a box that if there's ever a fire in my house, I grab the computer, the box, and I password notebook, and I am out the door. And a cat. Yes. Provided I can get to the mall, that is. Tess, that was my problem yesterday. I simply could not wake up. Absolutely could not wake up. Didn't matter how many coffees I had, or, I ate, I tried a nap, whatever it is, I could not. I do, Kenny. I find them in the strangest places because I use them for everything. And when I say everything, I mean they are bag clips. They are, my freezer is full of them because if I don't use all the frozen veggies, I clip them with one of the binder clips. Uh, all of my cereal boxes are all clipped with binder clips. So I use them for everything. All right, well, in that case, let's do some dragons with some watercolors. We're going to use so basically this is something that I do not have a link for, and I wish I did. Oh, well, actually, I do have a link, but I don't have it in my description. And I don't want to take the time to find it for. If anybody would like a link to these, please let me know, and I will put it in the description later. These are the Pretty Excellent watercolors. They are 36 of the most gorgeous, and Lindsay over at the Frugal Crafter has indicated that barring the interior of this tin, um, they are made by the same company that manufactures and markets the Paul Rubens. So she wasn't sure if maybe they didn't just put the leftover formulation in these and sell it in a secondary market. That does, in fact, happen. But I will show you. These are absolutely stunning colors. Yeah, exactly, Sandy. They're just good for everything. Bag clips, if you need to, I use them. I clip them to the end of my brushes when I need to, because when you're drying a water brush, a watercolor, an actual watercolor brush, you always want to dry it head down, because if you dry it this way, all the water goes here into the oops, sorry, goes in here. And that's the last place you want it. Now in this brush, it wouldn't matter so much because this is on a plastic shaft. But in a good wood brush, you don't want that water soaking your wood handle. So I clip the clip onto the end like that, and then I just hang it up on a, whatever, a clip or a hook or something like that. And those brushes can uh, so yeah, I just use them for everyone. Have the link for these? I do. I have it. Let me get it. Let me see if it is, if I got smart and put it. See if I put it on my show notes. I have the Winsor and Newtons. The Derwent Gravitans. Okay. Rats. Okay, that means I'm going to have to look for it. I will put it in after the. Yeah, I'm going to have to put it in after, because I have to. Which means I have to search out the show notes that I have to look back in the record, find out which show I did them in so that I know where the link is. Because it's not marketed as pretty excellent. Although I think if you search that, you could probably find it that way. But here's what they look like, guys. This is the swatch of the pretty excellent watercolors. I mean, look at how absolutely stunning these are. And hi, Gary. Hi, May, by the way. I don't even think I got a chance to say hi to you. How was your little or your mini vacation, your country celebration, your national day, and all of that kind of good stuff? I was late getting to your show and then left a little early, so I didn't hear. Okay, so I want my dragons to be, I'm going to go a little more traditional with my dragons this time. I'm going to do one red and one blue. So I want to do like a sapphire blue. So I am thinking that I will color one with intense blue, and the other one will start out with the cad red and work our way darker. Show. I have my trusty repurposed Dove extra hold sprayer filled with water. So I'll just wet all of those down. I have a variety of brushes in different sizes. Now these are inexpensive brushes because I am not a super talented colorist yet with watercolors. And so, and I got a load of the price of those very cool quill brushes, but it's a little expensive of a bite for me. So these have been just perfect for my coloring books. That is what counts. So I think that we'll start here. See if I can move some of this so that you can actually see it. And we'll go for it. And yes, Sammy asked me if today was going to be a chill day, and yes, the answer is absolutely. So how do I know which colors are which? Well, I have to count. So I want number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the color I want to start with. And since I don't really know, I'm just going to start with a base color. Right now. How many of you went? This is 110 pound cardstock, by the way. Nothing fancy, just the 100, the Georgia Pacific 110 pound bright white from over at Walmart. Remember that it will dry a lot lighter than it goes down. There's something always so DD-esque when I do that. When I, when you just like throw a wash on an entire creature like that. Every time she does it, I catch my breath and go, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Hello, Louise, munching on your dinner. Let's see here. I do believe, and in case you're wondering why I'm only doing pieces of it, I'm letting the dragon inform me what it wants. So it wants this to be read to. And maybe this part here as well. But I think I want his nose armor or his nose plate to be a different color. So I'm going to hold up on that. Okay. I'm going to hold up on his nose plate for right now. All right. So now I want my little girl to be a base shade of a more sapphire type blue, or sorry, this color, this cerulean blue, or maybe the turkey blue. No, I think I'm going to use the turkey blue for a darker shade, but the cerulean blue. So we are into the blues. 1, 2, 3. So it's got to be this one. Indeed, it is. That is a really dark shade. So that's going to need a lot of water. To make that down into a wash. In case you're wondering what I'm doing over here, I have a one of those things. And actually it would probably be better if I moved it over here. I remember being able to do this in that Dennis Preston book, and it felt so good to be able to initiate large areas with a color wash. Because one of the things that sort of drives me a little batty about coloring, and keeping in mind that I have to do it on a schedule, because I do have other things that I need to do with my art. This is very satisfying to be able to feel like you're accomplishing something. May, it is the 110-pound bright white from Georgia Pacific, which is a brand of paper here in the United States. And you get it over at Walmart. And it is 110 pound, 150 sheets, 92% bright white, premium cardstock made by Georgia Pacific. Comes in this yellow wrapper. And it is just a really good utilitarian paper. It obviously, would peel if you got it super wet and then rubbed on it. But as long as you're letting it dry between layers, you're going to be fine. And I'm trying to pay attention to chat, guys. So if you do have those questions, please do put them in caps, and don't be super offended if I don't see them, because I do have a bit of a focus issue when it comes to the computer screen and where I have to sit when I stream. So I may not always see it before it rolls off the page. Thank you, Christina. See, it worked for that. Hi, Tanya. Good to see you. And this one is going to have a blue nose because she's going to have a very cool ring there. Or not ring. Oh, heck, you know what I mean. Don't you? All right, now I'm going to use a little bit of this golden yellow, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this lemon yellow to get an even lighter shade. Apparently, I also had a little blue still left in my brush. I'm trying to squeeze some of that out. Because I just want to do a first layer of color on their eyes. Because we'll come back in and do a little more detail. And for those who are wondering, this is one of my drawings. It is available in my Etsy shop. It's in the new art section. My Etsy shop link is in the description below. You can use just any link to get there. And there are 5 dragons right now. There will be more, and yes, I am working on an entire book of them. Uh, Nana and I have, hi Pat, Spicy Pat, who just got my book today. Thank you. And also, the 40 Fan Favorites book is actually designed for people who don't have all of my books and maybe don't want to buy all 8 of them to have a few of the drawings from each one. So it's the 40 the best of CL Aldridge 40 Fan Favorites is for you as a sampler of the other books, and hopefully owning that one will make you want the other books. There'll also be a second one, a second 40 Fan Favorites, which will have the other top 10 or the other 5 of the top 10 favorite drawings, but that won't be out until summertime. Okay, so now we want a little, say, green grass, and for that I am going to want a light green. I think I'm going to use sap green. Yeah, a sap green. So that is my second green. That's this one down here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and mix that with just a little bit of that yellow, since the yellow's already down there. Might as well, right? And this will be just a nice highlight color. And don't worry if I'm getting a little over the lines. That's all easily fixable later. The point of watercolors is to really enjoy them. You get to cover big swaths of area with lots of color very quickly, and then you go back in and you hone your little details. And so, like I said, it's just from a standpoint of bang for your buck, for time-wise and things like that. I love the water mediums. I did, for those of you that were here on the day that I started, hang on one second, let me get this in here. On the day that I started, there it is. Oh, by the way, I did finish this from last week, and I did post it on Instagram. As you can see, I glittered it up quite a bit, and I know Honor was working on this yesterday, which I was honored about. I was honored by Honor. But this was the Mungo chalk pastels that we did last week, and I don't know about you guys, but I had a ton of fun with those. Because coloring in like that. All right, this is what I did with the Prismacolors. And I will tell you that this puppy took hours and hours and hours and hours to do with the Prismacolors. So, it's, uh-oh, I dipped my hand in the paint. So that is why, when it comes to something like this, I'm just sort of thrilled to, I dipped the back of my hand in the paint to be able to just sort of wash some color on a page and not have to worry so much about all the tiny details right away. There really is no substitute for layering colored pencil, though, for a really smooth finish. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm really enjoying this coloring adventure. Um, for those who have followed me from the beginning, they know that I never used to color. I drew. I drew for you guys to color, but I never used to color myself. So it wasn't really until this past uh, fall that I started to take it sort of seriously. And by then, I had sort of developed a little bit of knowledge just simply by osmosis, by watching other people color and seeing what they did. And then when May introduced me to ink tints, that was it. That was it for me. I was going to be a coloring fool. And then, of course, she turned me onto the water for watercolors, and the rest is history. Of course, then Dee Dee inspired me by being just great with all sorts of multimedia, and Sammy inspired me by being just great with everything. She put, if you put a coloring medium in her hands, she'll learn how to use it. You can count on it. She might not know right away, but she will learn how to use it. Hi, Mom Welks. Speaking of your talented daughter and your talented self, my goodness. Um, uh, for those that don't know, Susan Welks is, who's in chat, is Sammy's mom. And she is talented too, and she loves mandalas. And so she's been sharing her work in my mandala book with me, and I am just so impressed. Okay, so now, sky. No, I don't need to do the sky just yet. How about a second layer, a little bit darker maybe? Uh, around in here. Ooh, boy, there's a big green presence in that. Either that or there was still a lot of green in my brush. But it creates a kind of a nice effect there. Now I'm pushing the boundaries, putting a second layer on that before that first layer is dry. But I just love that color. It's sort of a very subtle bluey green, and that happened accidentally by just having a little bit of green left, and so that informed my brush that it kind of liked that color. So that's what I'm doing over here. I'm just sort of messing about with building a little bit of a sort of a bluey green wash for this guy. Okay, we'll stop pushing it now. Let's see. All right, little spikes. What kind of spikes should be on the end of a sapphire blue dragon? Because we're going to add dark shades in here as well, but just not yet. This ought to be ready for more color. So now I'm going to step it down into a little bit more of a Crimson Lake Deep, which is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is this one. Now this is, of course, one of the problems that you have when you buy a more inexpensive set of the watercolors like this, is there's no way to, because it's got a sort of an inexpensive palette inset, there's no way to arrange your colors in a way that might make more sense to you. You kind of have to go with the way that they're in the tint. You can't lift out and change the order of the pans. But that's okay. And no, I haven't forgotten that you're all here, but almost. Just deepening up the colors a little bit. Oh, Deb, it was an honest mistake. Hey, hi, Caroline. I know it is probably getting on to evening there, isn't it? Let's see. It's 3 o'clock here, and I know you're 6 hours ahead, so it's got to be going on 9. Yeah. And if you guys weren't there, Deb had an autocorrect embarrassing statement come out. It was funny. Autocorrect strikes again. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this shade of red a little better. The other was just a tad too sort of pinky orange. But you can still see it. You know, you can sort of still catch the layer of the color underneath. And that is something that I love about watercolors is that it is impossible to repeat the same exact effect twice. You know, it's going to be different every time. I have to admit, this inexpensive brush has performed nicely over the last several times I've used it. What I want to see, no, they don't dry chalky. They really don't. And that is what is so impressive about them, Deb, is they don't dry chalky in the least. I mean, this is the swatch book that I did. Now, I mean, they aren't chalky at all. They don't lift. Now, some have said that they actually think they might be an ink-based watercolor or a very good watercolor. Uh, as a matter of fact, Zarget pronounced that over them. They are either ink-based or a very good watercolor. And yeah, and guys, they're under 20 bucks. So these are chalky watercolors here. Now this is a very inexpensive set of 6 watercolors that I got over at Walmart. It's made by a company called Daler-Rowney. Daler-Rowney has 3 grades of watercolors that they sell. These are the lowest grade, the simple. It's manufactured under Simply, and this is what it looks like. Now, and it comes in tubes. For what they are and for what they pay for you, what you pay for them, these are more than fine for your coloring books. But, oh, rats. Hang on. I just dipped my book in the red watercolor. Oh, no harm done. Okay. I was picturing every page in my swatch book tinted red. Oh, look, a new little character. A new little character. A little preview of a little character. I'm always working on something. You never know. Okay. All right. So that's the red. All right. Now let's go a little. We'll let's lay down some gray here. I need some gray. Actually, I need my swatch book back. Oh, now people will tell you that you probably won't use the white in your set very often, and that is true. The only exception that I have found to that right now is that I do I do go for the whites. I'll try this. I'm going to try I think that I may have gotten a little bit of red in my clean water. The fact that it looks red is probably a good hint to that. What I'm trying to go for is a nice gray shade because these are intended to be concrete. So I think it's okay that I have a little bit of red mixed into my really watered down black. The Becky, so I guess I didn't know that Arteza put them in pans, really, because I've only ever seen them in the tubes. But yeah, I prefer the tubes actually. That way you can just squirt out a little bit. And you can leave, whether it's watercolor or gouache or whatever, it's just, you can just leave it in your palette. You never want to throw it away. The little bits that you don't use. The only time you ever want to remove those little bits that you didn't use is if you need to mix a color that that requires a clean space. Otherwise, you just mix your new color using the colors that are already there. At least I do. But then I'm pretty new at this, so. Maybe I was a colorist in another life. I keep seeing those rose palettes around. So what is everybody coloring? And you don't have to say my art. Oh my goodness. Wow. Becky, that is a lightning deal. Uh, yeah, I've had my eye on the 60 cents. And I keep missing the lightning deals on them. But then I decided that I really have enough water mediums for now. I really should just concentrate on learning to use the ones that I already have and not worrying about the others. That doesn't stop me from wanting them. That just means that I'm realistic about. There's lots of other things that I want. Like I was at Walmart a couple days ago, And I really have been sort of wanting a, an empty watercolor tin so that I can have an excuse to pull the trigger on buying the half pans, you know, the empty half pans for all the stuff that I have in tubes. Because I watched Dee Dee put her gouache in half pans, but what I really want it for is that for my birthday, uh, one of the gifts that I got was uh, the Jacquard gum Arabic, so that I could make my own glitter water paints using my Pearl X pigments that I already have. But in order to do that, I need to have a palette to store them in. So that's where I was, and I so hang on, where is it? So I was at Walmart and I found this cute little empty box, and it was like $2. So I grabbed it and I thought, well, that will be perfect because there's 24 of them and you can only put 15 half pans in a Altoids. And so this is slightly bigger than an Altoids. But an empty Altoids tin is the perfect size for 12 colors or 15. But this will fit like 36. And or 30. This will fit 30. So then, of course, I got home and it occurs to me, silly me, that I do have an empty tin right here. Because, you know, this is my other set of ink tins. But look at this. And it's already porcelain coated. So, in case you guys are wondering what to do with your empty watercolor tins, or sorry, okay. Ooh, sorry. Hang on one second, guys. I'm going to mute you. Sorry about that. You know I don't want you to have to listen to me hack. Alrighty. Okay, so now we did that. I got a base coat there. Let's add a little more green to our, and what color green? How about we try Hooker's green? Hooker's green is always a good choice. It is the one next to sap green. Uh, Yeah. Okay, we're going to go right into all of these yellows. Wow, that is green, green, green. So we'll mix that around a little bit. Add a ton of water. Needs something. Maybe a little yellow green. Just trying to lighten it up a little bit so it's not quite so throwing in a little more water. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So I want my close-in grass gets to be a little darker. Of course, you can see the close-in grass through the balustrade. Thank you, everybody, for being here, too, and watching me play. This is the best part of my week that I actually get to come and spend with you guys. It's certainly the part I look forward to the most. Yeah, that. Oh, and by the way, I've been thinking about the 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 how to get my attention part, uh, especially like with what happened a couple weeks ago, or actually it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. Now with that, everybody trying to get my attention and no one could. Um, but if you send me a message through Messenger, it pings my phone, and I will just make a conscious note to myself that if I hear my phone ping, that there's a message during a live stream, I will actually look at the phone, and that way maybe you only have to shout at me the one time that I miss a question, uh, not the person asking the question, but maybe one of my mods. If you notice that I missed the question a couple times, you might want to ping me. Uh, Now, I will tell you that as what I my when I talk about a palette, I'm talking about storage for like I really love. And Kitty sent me this. I really love this. This is my Butcher's Tin palette, and as you can see on here are the Arteza Premium Gouache, still there. I keep this, by the way, in a bag, and it's hung on the door handle behind me. So that's why it doesn't get dusty, is because it's covered up in a bag. And then over here are the Royal and Langdale gouache. And so when I want to paint with those, I pull out the palette, and when I run out of a color, then I go back to my tubes. Who's yelling? Am I yelling? Corolla, am I yelling? Or are people yelling in your house? I'm just adding a little bit of darker green. So you're going to stream 3 times a week, Pat? Bless you guys that have time to do that. I just cannot. I have kind of gotten to the point where I'm limiting my stream attendance to like 1 a day. Otherwise, I just can't get anything done because I want to participate. I want to participate with everybody, and I can't because I've got my face down in my work. Okay, so I left that little bit of a horizon back there, just starting to work in some, little details and things like that. Okay, so now back to my girl dragon here. And what I want is a dark blue. And I am thinking that the intense blue would be a good choice. So 1, 2, that's this one. See how, that is the same. That is that same dark intensity of blue. I really think I want to throw in a little green. Just because I am really liking that. Once again, just building up color. I might have to draw their teeth back in with white ink. Just building colors, and you know, I'm trying to get the base so then I can start adding the details. Once I get the base down to where I kind of like it, I can put you know, keep working the darks until I can then leave the highlights. Maybe we'll go with just a slightly using that blue without the green. Up here at the top. Yeah, you do need a Dragon PDF. Hi, Sparkle. How are you? I haven't seen you in forever. What is going on? And yeah, everybody who streams has something going on. Okay, now I'm going to use gold, and I am going to actually choose this yellow ochre down here because I've decided that I want my, actually I'm going to use it just like this. I'm not even going to mix it down just yet. Oh yeah, I am liking that. Okay. Okay. Work that just a little bit, and maybe take some of that and some of this really pretty yellow. Ooh, yes, that's a satisfying color. Okay, now we're gonna switch brushes. And really all I'm doing, guys, is I'm just waiting for the picture to inform me what it wants. And that's the way I approach coloring a lot. I rarely do I go in with a plan, as most of you have noticed. Excuse me. Let's see, I can pull that gold over here by doing a you know, gold ring around whatever her jewel is. Um, I can add gold to their eyes. Just sort of darken those up just a little. I can add gold bands, so like the gold rings around their horns, like jewels. Uh, yeah, maybe he'll have a gold jewel bezel as well. And she'll have a little gold band. And actually, maybe she's going to have some gold. This is just a test. Some little gold dots for there. Oh, hello, Joe. Is that a picture of you on your uh, on your on your profile? Because if that's so, you might be a little too young to be here. Hi, Kim, and I'm sorry that you have to run. I'm sorry I missed you. Sorry I missed seeing you, Kim. Living good. Okay. Oh my goodness, Becky. Yes, never cry over bacon. Mm. All right. Let's see. Back to what I was doing. I know my trusty mods are on that, just in case. And let's. This isn't a final detail by any stretch of the imagination, but it's sort of informing me what is going on. Oh, Kenny, I actually can't write this very second, but thank you for letting me know. Okay. And okay, now what should I do next? Because everything is still sort of too wet. I think maybe something kind of down in here with maybe some browns and some shadowy type things in our corners. Um, so maybe we'll mix a tiny bit of black with a tiny bit of this orangish color. And we'll make a little bit of a brownish, sort of rusty colored wash. And I'm just going to try and use this as one of many colors to make this flagstone. In the patio. Just sort of starting the subtle shades of that. going back and forth. Is the zoom okay? Or do you need me to zoom in a little further? Yep, got it. And that's it. I know my mods will check people out before they, do anything strange. And okay. So I was thinking I'd do a couple of colors in the flagstone, maybe a brown and maybe a darker gray. I love how this yeah, I like how that's working. It's really subtle, and I don't think you guys can see it very well from where you are. Let me see if I can get it up here a little better. And yeah, I'm liking that effect too. Uh, okay, good. All right. Thanks everybody for letting me know that the Zoom is okay. Uh, there we go. I have to get it perfect again. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, now I can also see if I have one left. Maybe we'll grab some of this. And then maybe we'll put a little bit of a more browny color in it. And then throw a ton of water on it to make a nice little, once again, the thing about making a wash that I am finding to be true is if you get it too thin, it's okay. Just wait a couple of minutes. The water's going to dry up and the paint is still going to be there. So now I'm just using a different color. I'm throwing in some different details. Ooh, excuse me. I love watercolor. This is the most relaxed that I have been in a week since the last time we were here and I was playing with the pastels. So thank you, all of you, for doing that for me. Yeah, I miss my rock. I used to have a front porch very much like this, guys. I had a big stone house. This was where I lived with my ex right before I moved out here. It sounds a lot fancier than it was, but it was a monster of a house. It was big. It was built by a guy that had worked for the power company, and he built it himself with native field stone and imported and some imported stone. Yeah, I like the way that looks. I like the way that looks very, very much. Okay, so we'll just leave that alone. Maybe we'll add some additional color now to the side of the and change brushes again. This time to a medium-sized brush. But it was a behemoth of a house. It was big. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. But it's likely to inform me where the sun is. Oh, who's going? Bye, Sammy. Thank you, honey, for coming. You know, I love to see you. And just in case anybody wants to know, I am achieving nowhere near perfection and limiting myself to one stream a day. I don't think I can do it. There's just too many of you that I want to watch. So it was nice to see Harry on today. I do have to say that seeing the the art gear guide coming out into the public. Thank you, Kenny. Yeah, I'm a little not quite visualizing it yet, but I'm trying to watch what's happening with it over the camera. You know, actually, Becky had mentioned this, and it really is true. Sometimes, if you are too close to your work, you cannot see where it needs additional details or something like that. So, if you take a picture of it from a somewhat of a distance, then you can see things that you didn't miss or that you didn't see, when you're looking at it right away. And I thought that was a really smart idea. So once again, kudos to Becky. And I just really also, Becky, I just have to give it to you for the editing job that you did on the magical jungle, because that is exactly the kind of work that I was trying to do on the video that I just posted a couple days ago, and it's hard. It's the work itself isn't so hard as it is difficult to make to because every piece of it has to be edited separately. Things that fly in different directions, names that fade in and out, little effects that take like that long on the screen take a bunch of keystrokes to make happen. So anyway, well, shadows are one of those things. First off, remember that shadows only ever go on one side of what you're working on. So, and they all have to go on the same side. Because once you lay in your first shadow, it informs you where the sun is. And so I know that the sun is coming from over here on my guys. And so that tells me where my shadows on these guys needs to be. Becky, I do. I get it. I completely get it. And then if there is a little piece of it, like in 2 of the nameplates, I accidentally threw in a black background. And that means that it is blocking a piece of the colorist's work. And because of the program that I use is experimental and it's not perfect. It's a free Linux program. It didn't save some of the titles, and therefore I couldn't go back in and edit it without creating all of the titles all over again. So I just had to wing it. But all the mechanics worked, and that was, everything flew where it was supposed to fly and faded in where it was supposed to fade in. So I guess I have to count that as a victory. Okay, so now I am on an hour and 43 minutes for an hour and 44 minutes. Okay, do we, of the 44 people who are in, do we have any new fans? Anybody who this is your first time here? Or if you're lurking and yet I don't know you, you don't have to, but if you wanted to, you could just say hi. I'm just wondering if I need to explain what an Easter egg is, because I was going to put one in. All the books, by the way, are available as PDFs in my Etsy shop. Usually, not always, but often, in a stream, I will drop what's called an Easter egg. And an Easter egg is a coupon. Most often, it is a discount of some kind. It can be anywhere between 10 and 50%. Most often, as it is today, it is a 25% off coupon. That's anything and everything in the shop. In order to get the Easter egg, you have to actually be in the chat. You don't have to be, obviously chatting, but you have to be in the chat because I don't put them in externally. And so there is, in fact, an Easter egg for today. You should find of 5 dragons. By the way, be a sparkle. You should find that there's 5 dragons. There's this one. Well, there's the first one, which was Spica. The second one, which is When Dragons Come Calling. The third one is Honey, I'm Home. The fourth one, hang on. Okay. There's this one. Whoops. Keep that out of the paint. Okay, there's that one, which is called Creatures of Age and Wisdom. This one, which is Honey, I'm Home. This is Spica. Here's the one I'm coloring right now, which is When Dragons Come Calling. And here is the one that I was coloring on, which is called What Ya Doing? Little homage to my friend Dev, What Ya Doing? And that is that one. And then when I need to go take a break, like I do right this very second for just 1 second, oh look, people are running away. I lost 10 people. Are they all off buying? I hope they're all off buying things. This beautiful sign was made for me personally by Ms. Shannon Lefevre, who is not with us today, I don't believe. But isn't it gorgeous? And it says, "Off to feed the dragons. Will return shortly." And I absolutely adore it. It is one of my favorite things in the world now. And not only because she made it, but because this was her maiden voyage with the Derwent Inktense. And I just love that. She fussy cut flowers out of my books. She colored this dragon and miniaturized it and put it in there in its little dragon cave. And I just love it. So and I don't actually have to go anywhere. So I was good this time, and I remembered to TP before the stream. Okay. So our little eyes, I think, what color should I think I want to make those a really sort of beigey with a little yellow. Just a little plates around its eyes. I'm really just trying to take it off white. And there we go. It really was sweet of Shannon. You know, that I absolutely recognize there are hours and hours and hours of work in that sign. And it's just, it makes you feel so special when someone does something like that. Um, just really just amazing, you know, really, really. And she's a lovely human being. Okay. Now I have lost, oh, I didn't lose it. I put it in my hair. Does anybody else do that? You tuck something like your pen or your pencil behind your ear. I used to do that in the office, and I'm forever losing my paintbrush and my colored pencil that I was using last. You know, because I'm tucking it behind my ear. Okay, what do I want? I want to do something more. Oh, That's what it is. I need to add my, I need to add my shadow color underneath here. Oops, I should not have gone that far with it. That's okay. I can probably get that out of there with some water later on. Water and some green. Get that out of there. It's not a problem. And also, if you are new here or you are just joining, and the reason why I keep asking about is because, guys, I got over 800 subscribers now. That is just simply amazing to me. And thank you to everybody, and welcome to all of the new subscribers. Um, you know, that is just amazing. And also, if you are new here, you will know that that is my favorite sound in the world. That cha-ching, that means that somebody has purchased something in my Etsy shop. So that, and that actually puts food on my table and keeps my lights on, along with all of you and your very gracious and generous contributions to my PayPal tip jar and things like that. I could not do this without you, and I never, ever, ever, ever take that for granted. Um, so, uh, so there is that. Okay, we are at 3:56 p.m. and there is probably, although I don't know who it is. Last week it was Sean, but I think Sean took an early spot. Does anybody know if somebody is streaming next and who that somebody might be? And that noise is somebody has favorited my shop. Also a good noise to hear. What I need is the 25 people with my mandalas book in their cart to pull the trigger. Because you guys don't know it, but Amazon or Etsy has a little, well, actually, you can see it too, I think. You know, that little blurb thing that comes in that says 25 people have this in their carts. And it's sort of designed to, of course, a PDF will never run out. That was just a first layer, and I just put a little bit of gray. At some point in time, you need to stop going darker with your colors and start bringing in your grays and your browns and things like that to create your shadows, because then you can always add in more color later. And time is running out. Time is running out, able to rejoice. Yeah, Sean at Color with Canvas is that's Sean, and yeah, he was in Susie's spot this morning, or the one that Susie is on the schedule for. I shouldn't say Susie's spot, the one that Susie was on the schedule for. Harry was also on, so Harry and Sean were on sort of simultaneously. Then April was on simultaneously with May, and then there's me, and I don't quite know who is on next. Oh, time is running out. Oh, yeah, yes, exactly, Joycey. That's exactly what that's for. 20 people have this in their cart. Time is running out. And In the case of a physical book, like from Coolcraft or from 70 East Books, that's a very true statement. If they run out of the books, then you have to wait. Um, but with a PDF, uh, it's an electronic file, and so unless the owner of the shop decides not to sell it anymore, it's always going to be available. But it could be that maybe they have a contract with a different publishing house that says they can sell the first 500 themselves, and then afterward only the publisher can sell the PDF. So you just never know. So it is a good idea to pull the trigger. Pull the trigger if you can. uh, and anyway, uh, all right, everybody, it is 4 o'clock. It is technically my time to go. Thank you very, very much for letting me have a nice, calm play with some watercolors today. Um, I will not forget to put in the pretty excellent watercolors. Like I said, for what you get for under 20 bucks, these are incredible. And look at all the colors. And with these, you can mix any combination on the planet. Uh, so, and until we meet again, y'all mean the world to me. You know that, right? Thank you for uh, accepting me into your community. And until we meet again, color something pretty. And I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.